2021 candidate for governor of Virginia coming back live from Danville, Virginia. Now, a lot of people been asking, where have you been? You haven't been doing lives and all this other stuff. You do a little here and there, and since the election. And I said, you know why I'm not doing lives and kind of staying to myself a little bit? And staying to myself a little bit is because right now this is the blame game time for Republicans and Democrats, those who lost, the losers. And I said to myself, why am I going to get involved in this? Because I didn't lose Chesapeake, I didn't lose Lynchburg, and I damn sure didn't lose Chesterfield, Virginia. But two of the Republican governor's candidates, Kirk Cox and Amanda Chase, are close neck to neck in Chesterfield, Virginia. Now, if you can't keep Chesterfield, Virginia, and you got two quote unquote powerhouses, Amanda Chase, Kirk Cox, and that's part of their district, and then we lose Republican strongholds of Chesapeake and Lynchburg, and we already gave up a 33-seat handicap. After a while, people's brains have to start saying to themselves, y'all can't win. Each time frame y'all involved in something, not only do we lose, but we lose more ground. We have more issues to try to make up for. And Democrats, all they are doing is spending money now, not in Chesapeake, Lynchburg, or Chesterfield. They're going to put a little bit there just to maintain that blue. And then they're going to start spending money in other people's strongholds that are Republicans. And with me personally, I'm not going to let that happen. But it becomes a time and period now where we have to wake up as the Republican Party. See what the Democrats is doing right now, and that's what I've been doing. I've been studying and reading the Art of War again and studying their habits. See, I talk about chaos and confusion about the DNC's whole strategy, and then they win elections because they sell fear. Well, I was talking to my good friend, one of my best friends, and of course he runs my Danville, Virginia campaign headquarters, Alvin Sutherland. I'm going to give him credit. And we came up with this together during this time period. So let me give it to you. DNC, what they did during this election was one, self fear, but they put a bunch of mental disorders into other Democrats through fear. So you start seeing schizophrenia, bipolar disease, and more. Mental illness. That's what comes with it. If you keep injecting fear into the masses, what do normal people do before they go crazy? They snap. And what ends up happening is they change up their whole pattern in life to become dependent on the radio, the news, and any source that they feel makes them comfortable. But they don't realize at the same time period they are developing a mental disorder that is created and manufactured by the DNC. It's not just COVID. Because, for one, what did a bunch of people start doing? When they started promoting masks all over the place, everybody started putting one on. But guess what? People are still getting COVID even with the mask on. The fact of the matter is they started learning that they can control the masses as long as they keep giving them fear, and they feel like unless you elect them, the fear won't be over. The problem is by you being citizens, y'all develop the mental disorder because the DNC is basically manufacturing the disease. Y'all are the subjects. That's why you don't see the politicians doing all that shutdown craziness that they want done by governors and mayors and their own thing, because they're like, I'm not affected by it. So y'all are. So all they do is walk around and see, oh yeah, it seems like plenty of masks around here, plenty of this, and that's their way of collecting data on who is scared, who has fear, and then they start looking at the mental disorder and basically saying we can control and manipulate people to vote for us based off of fear. So what happens? So much fear creates mental disease. And that's what they want to continue to peddle around. The fact is, the mental disease ain't just for Democrats right now. A lot of Republicans have a mental disease in Virginia. How much losing can we do? How much kicking ourselves in the ass can we do before we get it in our thick head that each and every one of y'all candidates that ran in 2020, except for President Trump, y'all screwed it up for President Trump. I'm going to say it the way it is. Because instead of promoting exactly what Trump did, y'all was trying to promote how y'all was going to make things better, and y'all made it worse. Sometimes we got to have a real talk with Republicans and each other and just say, you know what? We can't keep going in this direction and expect anybody to listen to us if the DNC is creating this mental disease, and what we as a party should be doing is treating this mental disease and giving them a cure, not just allowing us to get assaulted all over the place by their attacks that is resonating in people with mental diseases and disorders that have developed because of the DNC. That's exactly what they did. So, now, what do we do to combat this? Well, I'm going to tell you this one. First, don't throw away any Trump hats or Trump signs. No, keep them up for the complete 4 years and keep wearing your stuff. I'm going to tell you that one exactly because I'm giving you the strategy to win. Because if people was able to build off of fear because it kept being repeated, they need to keep seeing President Trump's signs while they're taking down Biden and Harris signs. And I'm going to tell you why this strategy works. Because, see, when Biden and Harris screw up, we have to be attacking at every single chance and saying exactly, look at this, look at that. Because guess what we are in with this society that the DNC created? Me being a genius and a strategist and knowing how to run my campaign with common sense without saying stupid stuff and doing stupid other kind of crap that goes on. First off, we keep making sure President Trump's name stays out there. You keep your signs out there, keep wearing your gear, keep doing what you're doing and promoting his one. He hasn't lost yet or conceded. Keep fighting no matter what going into 2021 and beyond. And I'm going to say, why does this play a big important factor? Since Biden and Harris made all of these promises, remember, cure for cancer, stomping out COVID, and all this other crap, tuition, that's going to be gone. All those socialist policies and promises, we could dog them out about how they are not getting the job done. And America has become less patient. We have become a society of convenience. That means it's only but so long that people who are desperate start getting fed up, which are Democrats. They are going to start attacking Biden and Harris. So all we got to do is ride this train and watch exactly how we start taking over all over the country. Because guess what? If we had the right answers and the right solutions and the right messaging, because realistically, let's be honest about it. Yes, great messaging for Republicans to vote down the line, but we need somebody to win general elections We have no excuse for Gabe, Benjamin, Collick, Taylor, and whoever else lost because we suffered a lot of losses because we couldn't get that message to the communities that would decide the election. And guess what? Good thing I'm in this race because I'm able to get that message out. And I've been draining the swamp all over Virginia. And trust me, that's exactly the way I handle business. We have to change our messaging. If people cannot get the message out, exactly what the Republican Party is about, how it applies to dinner table issues, that's what we got to focus on. People at home that are working and basically out of work because of these governor's orders. We have to focus on them. We get the message through because if one way doesn't work, you're going to have to go my way. And that's just the way it is. And with that being said, we start hitting at dinner table issues. We start finding out more and more about what people are going through, what's going on with their lives, what's happening, and adding on solutions and attacking Biden and Harris for their failure to provide any of these things. People don't have years to wait anymore. They want results the first month, and they already showing right now. As you look at the newspapers, even from BLM to all these different groups, they all want their piece of the pie and don't realize America's broke. And Biden and Harris is going to have to explain we can't meet the promises that we made to you. And that's when we have everybody's attention. Because, see, when I talk, I try to make you angry. I try to make Democrats so pissed off. The reason is because you listen to the message. And there's always going to be somebody around you, especially from the ages of 30 to 50. Those ages, why I put so much attention to them. They want peace. They worried about their money. They are more in tune with the fact of they don't want race baiting. They don't want hostility to people that they know all their life. And they are tired of the bullshit of people making excuses. Because people my age or whatever, we did something, we took ownership of it, and we had to fix the problem. Nowadays, people think that you could destroy whatever and somebody else, and you don't know who that somebody else is to fix the problem. Sorry, defunding police and doing all this other stuff, that's why it's so important right now to make sure we keep the flag flying high. We keep the pressure on Biden and Harris. Stop paying attention to them local people and stuff like that. We have to make the DNC what they made the Republican Party. The devils that they are, the demons that they are, and how bad they have been, not only for the parents, but also to your children's future. That's how we get that message across. Doesn't matter if they get angry. One thing we can't keep doing is attacking Democrats without having a substantive answer and solution within the attack. Like, if I'm provoked, yes, I attack and I'm brutal and I say whatever I want to say because I'm trying to make you so angry that you pay attention and follow me because you're so pissed off you want to say something to make me look bad. During that time frame, I'm injecting you with information that you need to have. Eventually, your dislike is going to be like my like, and vice versa. The same way that plenty of people who are critics of somebody respect their critic because they know their critic comes back with substantive answers. They may not agree, but they can say they see intelligence in that answer. And even with intelligence, you also have to acknowledge when you have provided the wrong answer. And that's what we are setting up right now with the candidates going into 2021. We are failing them before it even becomes a primary. if we continue to allow Democrats to hammer us the way they've been hammering us. They was on the radio, on Latin channels, rap channels, R&B. So didn't matter. They was destroying our candidates because all their voters were hearing, and independents and those who probably never voted, Republicans are the enemy. Most of their commercials didn't say what we can do to fix it. It said hate Republicans. I don't care what you say past that point. People hear strong words. So when you hear hate, when you hear asshole, when you hear all this cursing that's going on the radio station or these insults, that drama draws people's attention. And they are hearing this every single day going to the voting booth. We lost time and strategy and basically seats because we allowed DNC to control the message. And that's been the problem. So we need to control the radio. We need to control the news. We need to control every single thing that the DNC has taken over and start injecting into them where Biden and Harris is flawed, being substantive, and then attacking viciously. Because in anger becomes pattern, and then from there you start seeing results. And that's exactly how I'm going to run my campaign. The reason is because it's going to be more people saying you don't have to like his personality, and it's going to be more people telling the other side, hey, you may not want to vote for him, but he's making a lot of sense, and this is why he's making sense. Sometimes we have to be the education, especially in an indoctrinated liberal society. It's so important because this is how America survives and has stable leadership for the future. Times hasn't changed. The game hasn't changed. We just failed to be updated on a course, a strategy that was designed to make sure that Republicans and conservative leadership continued to lead. And we basically got complacent and basically gave away the election. And we can't afford that going into 2021. 2021, we need to be making a huge comeback. And y'all can say huge or whatever you want to call it. But right now, if I've been losing for a decade and this past election didn't say, hey, wake up. Where's Soros funding money at? Where is the DNC trying to promote a candidate at? Where the DNC is trying to attack us at? They're setting up our loss for 2021. We need to wake up, because if not, we have a mental disorder just as bad as the DNC, because we are giving them exactly what they want. And right now, in 2021, if we don't have the right messaging that can be all the way across the board, resonate to people of all walks in life. President Trump gave us the olive branch to say, hey, look at my numbers. People are voting for me in different areas and diversities and more, even though DNC promoted a hate message all the way across the board. Most of the DNC voters are only on, I just don't like Trump. Our country's on the line, and you're worrying about what you like compared to what it takes for you to survive and for your families to have a future that we had, but also one that they can prosper and be successful and know that they can survive in it. Most of us are scared to die right now because we are worried about the world right now the way it is, and we know it's going to be savage and brutal if we don't step up at this time period. The history battle, the monuments, all these different things, church, lowering taxes, all the stuff. Yes, we got the best positions, but we got to get the message to them on how it applies to their dinner table issues. And we cannot be afraid to go into DNC or whatever groups that they have out there on social media or whatever it may be and start saying, hey, I want you to be angry, but I just told you something that you didn't know. And that's why people are resonating more to me, because they're saying he's talking about dinner table issues regardless of your race. But the fact is, I am focusing on the fact that I'm injecting exactly knowledge at that point. And when people become more aware and more knowledgeable, they understand that they die because of a lack of knowledge. And I try to make sure people know to be continual in your knowledge, because I am. I don't believe, hey, I know it all, but I do my research. But I also come up with ways for people to understand why this is a certain way and how it can affect you long term. And we need to start putting that out there. That's why our parents during that time frame. They knew we had short term wants, but they also told us about long term consequences. Do we remember the short term? We remember it for getting us in trouble, but we also remember when we focused on long term, we always remember that's what kept us alive. So if the DNC is selling death, we gonna sell America life. And that's exactly how we do it. We just gotta change up the way we put the message out. And if you notice my message compared to the others, they haven't crossed over those other candidates. They haven't. They have stayed comfortable. Me, on the other hand, I've been on the side. I've been on everybody's side. But I also been consistent to hold my ground no matter what. I tell it the way it is, whether people like it or not. But at least you know you get a direct answer. And that's how we win elections. Direct answers and transparency. But we have to be vicious, brutal, and savage in 2021. No remorse. That's the way it is. That ain't saying you being racist. It's saying that you love your country and you love everybody in it. We defeat hate by fighting it with love. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that he was a Republican, right? Maybe we should pay attention to that. So God bless you, and God bless America.